Tyler, you're not my partner. My stepbrother redirected $4,500 in deposits to his personal account. Originally posted in r/relationship_advice. I, 30M, need advice about whether I'm doing the right thing pressing fraud charges against my stepbrother, 27M, while my entire family is turning against me. My stepmother, 46F, is threatening to destroy my business, my father is devastated, and extended family members are calling me heartless. But I can't let this go. This is long, but I need to explain everything to get proper perspective. The background, years of sacrifice. Let me start from the beginning so you understand what this restaurant means to me. I've been working in kitchens since I was 16 years old. My first job was as a dishwasher at a local Italian place, working Friday and Saturday nights while my classmates were at parties. The owner, Tony, was old school. He'd started as a dishwasher himself 40 years earlier and worked his way up. He saw something in me, maybe the fact that I never complained about the heat, the mess, or the brutal pace during weekend rushes. "You want to learn?" he asked one night after I'd been there 6 months. "I mean really learn, not just wash dishes?" That's how I started training as a prep cook. I'd come in 2 hours before my dishwashing shift, unpaid, just to learn how to properly dice onions, prepare stocks, and understand the basics of mise en place. Tony taught me that cooking wasn't just about following recipes. It was about discipline, timing, and respect for ingredients. My mother had been diagnosed with cancer when I was 10. She fought for 2 years before passing when I was 12. Those last months, I learned to cook out of necessity. Dad was at the hospital constantly, and someone had to feed us. I'd make simple things, scrambled eggs, grilled cheese, pasta with Jared sauce. Nothing fancy, but it kept us going. After Mom died, cooking became my way of feeling connected to her. She'd loved to cook, and using her old recipe cards made me feel like she was still there somehow. Dad remarried when I was 14. Linda seemed nice enough at first, a dental hygienist with a bright smile and an 11-year-old son named Tyler. Dad was desperate for us to be a complete family again. He pushed hard for Tyler and me to bond, signing us up for the same activities, insisting we share a room even though we had a 3-bedroom house. Tyler and I were completely different people. While I spent my afternoons at the restaurant learning from Tony, Tyler was cycling through hobbies, skateboarding 1 month, guitar the next, then photography, then street magic. Linda funded each new interest without question, buying expensive equipment that would gather dust within weeks. When I saved up 3 months to buy proper chef's knives, she made comments about how some people are naturally focused, while others need time to explore. After high school, I went to culinary school on a partial scholarship, supplemented by loans I'm still paying off. I worked full-time while attending classes, catching 4 hours of sleep on good nights. Tyler, meanwhile, started at a state university majoring in business. He failed out after 1 year. Linda blamed the professors for not understanding his learning style. He enrolled in community college for marketing. Dropped out. Tried online courses in graphic design. Never finished. For the next decade, I worked my way up through kitchens. Line cook at a steakhouse, where I learned to handle volume and pressure. Sous chef at a French bistro, where Chef Bernard taught me classical techniques and the importance of consistency. Finally, head chef at Cordava, a respected farm-to-table restaurant downtown. The owner, Margaret, became my mentor. She taught me the business side, food costs, labor management, vendor relationships, marketing. During these years, I lived like a monk. Studio apartment in a rough neighborhood. My car was a 15-year-old Honda Civic with 200,000 miles and no air conditioning. I didn't date, didn't travel, didn't buy new clothes unless my old ones literally fell apart. Every extra dollar went into savings. My dream was singular and absolute, my own restaurant. Tyler, during the same period, lived in Linda and Dad's finished basement. He'd occasionally get jobs, cell phone sales, gym receptionist, Uber driver, but never lasted more than a few months. Linda always had excuses. The manager was unfair. The hours were unreasonable. The customers were difficult. She'd subsidize his lifestyle, buying him designer clothes and the latest electronics, saying he needed to present well for opportunities. The inheritance and the dream realized. Last year, my maternal grandfather passed away. Grandpa Joe had been a plumber, a quiet man who'd worked with his hands his entire life. We'd stayed close after Mom died. He'd come to my culinary school graduation, the only family member who did. In his will, he left me his house, a small 2-bedroom place in the suburbs, nothing fancy but paid off completely. I sold it for $180,000. Combined with my savings of $70,000, accumulated over 14 years of 80-hour weeks, I finally had enough for a down payment on a restaurant space. I'd been watching this particular location for 2 years. Corner spot, great visibility, strong foot traffic from nearby offices and apartments. The previous restaurant had closed due to the owner's retirement, not failure. The equipment was still there, ranges, refrigeration, dishwasher, all needing updates but functional. The lease negotiation took 3 months. The landlord, Mr. Chen, was cautious about renting to a first-time owner. I presented him with a 40-page business plan, financial projections, letters of recommendation from Margaret and other industry professionals, and my entire savings as proof of commitment. He finally agreed, partly because his daughter had eaten at Cordova and loved my food. The renovation consumed my life. I used every vacation day I'd accumulated, working 18-hour days to transform the space. I did most of the work myself to save money, painting, deep cleaning, minor repairs. I hired professionals only for critical things like electrical and plumbing updates. My friend Marcus, a carpenter, helped me build new shelving and refinish the bar in exchange for free meals for a year. I carefully assembled my team. My sous chef, Angela, had worked with me at Cordova. She believed in the vision enough to take a pay cut initially. 2 line cooks, David and Jerome, young but talented, hungry to learn. Sarah, a server with 15 years' experience who could manage front of house in her sleep. Every hire was deliberate, every role essential. The menu development took months. I wanted approachable food executed perfectly, not pretentious, but precise. Roasted chicken with seasonal vegetables, but the chicken would be brined for 24 hours and the vegetables sourced from local farms. Pasta made fresh daily. Burger ground from a specific blend of cuts. Simple dishes that required technical skill to execute properly. The fatal Sunday dinner. 2 weeks before our soft opening, I made the mistake of sharing my excitement at Sunday dinner. These weekly dinners at Dad and Linda's house were obligations I endured. Tyler would usually show up late, if at all, often leaving early for important plans. The health inspector signed off yesterday, I said, unable to contain my pride. We're officially cleared to open. Linda's eyes lit up with an expression I should have recognized as calculating. Oh, how wonderful! This is perfect timing. Tyler's been looking for something substantial to sink his teeth into. Tyler looked up from his phone. Yeah. What kind of restaurant? New American, focusing on seasonal ingredients and... Cool. I could definitely help with the business side. You know, I took that course on entrepreneurship. The course he referenced was a 3-day online seminar about cryptocurrency and dropshipping that Linda had paid $2,000 for. Tyler had spent most of it playing video games on another screen. I appreciate the offer, I said carefully, but I've got everything covered. My team is already in place. Dad set down his fork. Now, son, don't be too proud to accept help. You know you've always been more comfortable in the kitchen than with numbers and business matters. This was infuriating. I'd created a comprehensive business plan, negotiated with vendors, managed food costs at Cordova for 3 years, and secured a small business loan based on my financial projections. But in Dad's mind, I was still just the cook. Tyler could handle marketing, Linda pressed. Social media is so important these days, and he's very good with computers. I've already arranged. Family helps family, Dad interrupted, his tone carrying that particular weight that meant the discussion was becoming non-negotiable. Tyler's your brother. Give him a chance. Stepbrother, I corrected, which earned me a sharp look from Linda. We've been family for 16 years, she said coldly. I'd think that would mean something to you. Tyler leaned back, smirking. Come on, bro, don't be like that. I'm just trying to help. Unless you think I'm not good enough for your fancy restaurant. It was a trap. If I said no, I'd be the arrogant one who thought he was better than family. If I said yes, I'd be opening a door I knew I should keep closed. The table waited in silence. Fine, I said finally. Tyler can help with social media and marketing for the first month. Unpaid internship, basically. We'll see how it goes. Linda beamed. Oh, that's wonderful. Tyler, this is exactly the opportunity you've been waiting for. The first red flags. Tyler showed up the next morning wearing a suit that must have cost $2,000. Designer shoes, expensive watch, hair styled like he was heading to a photo shoot. I was in my chef's whites, already sweating from testing recipes. Morning, partner, he said, walking straight into my office and sitting in my chair. I'm not your partner. You're helping with social media. He laughed. Right. Got to play it cool for the employees. I get it. Tyler, I'm serious. You're here on a trial basis to manage our Instagram and Facebook. That's it. Whatever you say, boss. The way he said, boss, made it clear he thought this was all playful banter. I gave him the login information for our social media accounts and showed him the content calendar I'd already created. He nodded along, seeming engaged, taking photos of our prep work. For the first 3 days, things went smoothly. He posted regularly, engaged with comments, and even came up with some creative hashtags. But then Angela pulled me aside. Hey chef, just wanted to check, is Tyler actually a co-owner? What? No. Why? He introduced himself to the produce delivery guy as co-owner. Said he handles the business side while you handle the food. I found Tyler in the dining room, taking photos of the space. We need to talk. You told someone you're co-owner. I was just trying to command respect. These vendors, they respond to authority. You don't have authority here. You're helping with social media as a favor. Wow. He put down his phone and stared at me. After everything my mom has done for you? She raised you when your mom died. She treated you like her own son. And this is how you repay her. She married my dad when I was 14. I was already mostly raised. You've always been ungrateful. Mom says it all the time, how you never appreciated what we did for you. What exactly did you do for me? We gave you a family. I had a family. My dad and my memories of my mom. Tyler shook his head, grabbed his things, and headed for the door. You know what? Forget it. When this place fails because you're too proud to accept help, don't come crying to us. The nightmare unfolds. 3 weeks passed. The soft opening exceeded expectations. We were booked solid for 2 weeks out, food critics left glowing reviews, and regulars were already establishing themselves. Tyler hadn't shown his face since our argument, which was a relief. I assumed that was the end of it. Then came the phone call that changed everything. Chef, this is Paul from Harvest Farms. Just calling to confirm the account changes your partner sent over. My stomach dropped. What changes? What partner? Tyler Morrison. He said he's handling the business operations now. Sent over new billing information, new payment structure. Very professional presentation, actually. Paul, don't change anything. There's been a misunderstanding. Oh, okay. Should I be concerned? I'll handle it. Just keep everything as it was. I immediately called my other suppliers. 4 had been contacted. 2 had already made changes, redirecting billing to an account I didn't recognize. Tyler had sent them official-looking documents on letterhead with our logo, identifying himself as co-owner and operations manager. I drove to the restaurant at 10 p.m. after service. In my office, I went through everything. In my desk drawer, which I rarely locked because I trusted my team, I found a box of business cards. 500 cards reading Tyler Morrison, co-owner and operations manager, with our logo, address, and his cell phone number. The receipt was in the box. He'd ordered them from a premium printing company 3 days after I'd agreed to let him help with social media. Digging deeper into our reservation system, I discovered something that made me physically ill. Tyler had been accepting deposits for private events. 3 separate catering jobs, a corporate lunch for 40 people, a birthday dinner for 25, and a wedding rehearsal dinner for 30. Total deposits collected, $4,500. The money had gone to a PayPal account I didn't recognize. I found email threads where he'd corresponded with these clients, presenting himself as the owner, making promises about custom menus and pricing I'd never approved. He'd even created an email address that was 1 letter off from our official one, easy to miss if you weren't looking carefully. Legal consultation and evidence. The next morning, I called my lawyer, Jennifer, who'd helped with the lease. She reviewed everything I'd found and her expression grew increasingly grim. This is serious fraud, she said. Wire fraud, identity theft, fraudulent misrepresentation. He's created a sophisticated scheme here. But he's family. The police won't care about family drama. This isn't family drama. This is criminal activity. He's stolen money, damaged your business relationships, and could destroy your reputation if this continues. She was right. I spent the next 2 days documenting everything. The detective assigned to the case, Detective Martinez, was thorough and professional. She didn't dismiss it as a family dispute. You'd be surprised how often family members commit fraud against each other, she said. They count on exactly what you're feeling, that family pressure will keep you from pressing charges. The investigation revealed more than I'd found. Tyler had registered an LLC with a name nearly identical to my restaurant's, Different by just one letter, created a website domain that was one character off from ours, printed promotional materials listing himself as owner and primary contact, attempted to add himself to my business bank account, flagged and denied by the bank, told multiple vendors I was having personal problems, and he was taking over, created fake email accounts mimicking mine, applied for a business credit card using the restaurant's EIN. The scope was staggering. This wasn't a misunderstanding or overzealousness. This was a calculated attempt to steal my business. The family explosion. When Tyler was formally charged, the family explosion was immediate and intense. Linda called me screaming so loudly I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "You ungrateful little bastard! How dare you do this to Tyler? To our family? I took you in when your mother died." "Linda, Tyler committed fraud. It's a misunderstanding. He was trying to help. You're destroying his life over nothing." She showed up at the restaurant during the lunch rush the next day. I was expediting orders when I heard the commotion. Linda was in the dining room, voice carrying throughout the space. "This man," she announced to the room, pointing at me, "is pressing charges against his own brother. His own family. What kind of person does that?" "Linda, please leave," I said, aware that every customer was watching. "Tyler loved you. He looked up to you. And you're sending him to prison. He stole from me. It's family money. It all stays in the family anyway." Two customers walked out. Sarah and Angela had to physically escort Linda out while she screamed about suing me for defamation, emotional distress, and elder abuse. She was 46. That evening, Dad came by. He looked older, exhausted. "Son, please reconsider. Tyler made a mistake." "He didn't make a mistake, Dad. He systematically tried to steal my business. He's young, impulsive. He's 27. When I was 27, I was working 16-hour days and living on ramen to save money. You've always been different. More capable. Tyler struggles. He needs support, not prosecution. He needs consequences. He's never faced them before." Dad's face crumbled. "If you do this, Linda will leave me. She's already talking to divorce lawyers. Is that what you want?" "I don't want any of this. But Tyler chose to commit crimes. I'm just refusing to be his victim." The investigation deepens. Detective Martinez called with updates regularly. Each one revealed new aspects of Tyler's scheme. "He was surprisingly methodical," she said. "This wasn't impulse. He started planning this the moment you agreed to let him help." The evidence included text messages to friends bragging about taking over the restaurant, Google searches for how to transfer business ownership, and adverse possession business law communications with a sketchy business consultant about forcing me out, attempts to contact my landlord about transferring the lease applications for loans using the restaurant as collateral. The prosecutor, ADA Sharon Williams, was confident. "We see family fraud regularly. Victims often don't press charges, so when someone does, we take it seriously." Meanwhile, the family campaign intensified. I received calls from aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. The message was always the same: family doesn't do this to family. You're overreacting. Can't you just work it out? Linda created a Facebook group called Justice for Tyler, where she posted daily about how I'd entrapped her son, how I'd been jealous of Tyler since childhood, and how I was mentally unstable from working too much. She posted photos of Tyler as a child, quotes about forgiveness, and links to articles about false accusations. Some of her posts went viral in local Facebook groups. People who'd never met any of us had strong opinions about whether I should drop charges. The restaurant's Facebook page got bombed with one-star reviews calling me heartless and cruel to family. Unexpected support. But something interesting happened. The local restaurant community rallied around me. Other owners shared their own stories of family members trying to exploit their businesses. My vendors were incredibly supportive, with several offering extended payment terms to help with cash flow. Margaret, my former boss at Cordava, came for dinner and made a point of posting about it. "Integrity isn't just about how you cook," she wrote. "It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's hard." Regular customers started a counter-campaign, posting positive reviews and sharing their experiences. One customer, a small business owner named Robert, told me, "My brother-in-law tried something similar with my construction company. I didn't press charges to keep peace. He did it again 5 years later to another family member. You're stopping Tyler from doing this to someone else." The 3 clients Tyler had defrauded were especially supportive. One, Jennifer Chen, who'd given him a deposit for her wedding rehearsal dinner, became a regular customer. Initially, I was angry at the confusion, she said. But when I learned what he'd done, I was glad you caught him. He was so convincing, so professional. I would have recommended him to others. The unraveling. 4 months in, Tyler's lawyer requested a meeting. He wanted to negotiate a plea deal. The evidence was overwhelming, and Tyler was facing potential prison time. In the prosecutor's office, Tyler looked different. The expensive suits were gone, replaced by khakis and a polo shirt. He'd lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes. "I'll plead to lesser charges," his lawyer said. "Misdemeanor theft, community service, restitution." ADA Williams laughed. "Your client committed multiple felonies. We have documented fraud exceeding $10,000 when you include the attempted loan applications. He's looking at 2 to 5 years. Tyler's facade cracked. "This is insane. I was helping. I brought in business." "You stole deposits," I said quietly. "I was going to transfer them over." "When?" "After you successfully stole my restaurant." He turned to me, and for the first time, I saw genuine emotion rather than manipulation. "You have everything. The talent, the drive, the success. I have nothing. You had every opportunity one had. More, actually. Linda paid for your college attempts. You lived rent-free. You never had to work 3 jobs. But it came easy to you." "Easy." I stood up. 80-hour weeks are easy. Burns, cuts, and standing for 16 hours straight is easy. Saving every penny for 14 years is easy. You watched me work myself to the bone and thought the result was easy. The resolution. Tyler ultimately pled guilty to 2 counts of fraud and 1 count of identity theft. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail, 3 years probation, and ordered to pay $15,000 in restitution, the $4,500 stolen plus damages and legal fees. During the sentencing, Linda stood up and screamed that I was a monster who destroyed a young man's future. The judge had her removed and warned her about contempt. Dad filed for divorce during Tyler's incarceration. He came to the restaurant one evening with papers showing he'd already signed. "I should have done this years ago," he said. "I was so desperate to give you a complete family after your mom died that I ignored who Linda really was. She never saw you as a son. She saw you as competition for Tyler, someone who made her son look bad by comparison." "Dad, I chose them over you," repeatedly. "When you needed support, I told you to give more. When Tyler took advantage, I told you to be understanding. I failed you as a father." We sat in silence for a moment before he continued. "Your mother would be so proud of this place. The attention to detail, the flavors, the way your staff respects you. She would have loved it." 6 months later. Tyler was released last month. Part of his probation includes no contact with me or my business, and a ban from working in financial positions for the probation period. Linda posts regularly about how he's been wrongfully persecuted, and is planning to open his own restaurant that will show everyone the truth. Several family members still won't speak to me. I'm not invited to family gatherings. Cousins have unfriended me on social media. But I sleep peacefully. The restaurant is thriving beyond my wildest dreams. We're booked solid 3 weeks out. I've hired 2 more line cooks and am training Angela to potentially run a second location. The local paper did a feature on us, focusing on the food and mentioning only briefly that we'd overcome initial challenges. My real family is clear now. It's Angela, who turned down another job offer to stay. It's Sarah, who handled Linda's outbursts with grace. It's my suppliers who stood by me. It's Detective Martinez, who treated the case seriously. It's ADA Williams, who fought for justice. It's the customers who keep coming back. Last week, a young cook applied for a position. During the interview, he mentioned his family wanted him to work in his uncle's restaurant, but he wanted to forge his own path. "Good for you," I told him. "Family in business can be complicated." "Yeah, my uncle keeps saying family helps family, but he just wants cheap labor." I hired him on the spot. Final thoughts. People ask if I have regrets. My only regret is not seeing Tyler's nature sooner. The signs were always there. The entitlement, the shortcuts, the belief that success should be given rather than earned. Linda enabled it, Dad ignored it, and I was guilted into accepting it. But here's what I learned. Family isn't blood. Family isn't marriage certificates. Family isn't obligation or guilt or manipulation disguised as love. Family is the people who support your dreams without trying to steal them. Family is the people who see you working yourself to exhaustion and offer to help, not take over. Family is the people who celebrate your success without claiming credit for it. The restaurant stands as proof that hard work, integrity, and boundaries matter more than blood relations. Every dish that leaves the kitchen, every satisfied customer, every positive review is a testament to what can be built when you refuse to let toxic people tear down your dreams. Tyler thought he could take what I'd built because we were family. But he learned what I've always known: you can't steal someone else's journey. Every scar on my hands, every 16-hour shift, every sacrifice, those can't be transferred with fake business cards and fraudulent documents. The restaurant isn't just my business. It's my redemption, my proof that choosing principles over pressure was right. And every single day it succeeds is another day proving that real family, the family we choose, is worth more than the family we're told we have to accept.